Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will be presenting a study entitled of Association between Eating Window and Blood Pressure Among Adults, a Systematic Review. So the researcher will be myself, Siti Nurhidayah binti Mohamad Shokri, and my supervisor Dr. Marhazlina binti Mohamad from Faculty of Health Science, University Sultan Zainal Abidin. So this is the content included in this slide, which is first introduction, literature review, method, results, and also references. So first we go through the introduction, background. What is into chrononutrition? Chrononutrition is defined as the circadian timing of food intake. There are six components of chrononutrition, which is first breakfast skipping, night eating, eating window, evening latency, largest meal, and lastly is evening eating. So for my study, I will more focus on eating window only, which eating window means that a person eats all of their meal and snacks within a particular window of time each day. Definition for hypertension is a condition in which the blood vessel have persistently raised pressure, which systolic blood pressure more than or equal to 140 mmHg, and diastolic blood pressure more than or equal to 90 mmHg. Hypertension is a main factor for premature death worldwide, with upwards of 1 in 4 men and 1 in 5 women over a billion people. According to Shehab et al. 2020, they found a beneficial change in systolic blood pressure after overnight fast. Okay, next is rationale. This study was conducted because there is no systematic review has synthesized the relationship between eating window and blood pressure among healthy adults. And this study beneficial for the public and healthcare professional to better understand the relationship of eating window and blood pressure, especially among healthy adults. Next, this review will also help researchers to further explore the effects of eating window on blood pressure, as well as for future health promotion program. So, the objective of the study is to determine the association between eating window and blood pressure among healthy adults. So, next, we go to literature review. Eating window refers to food intake within a designated time frame, such as 8 or 10-hour window during the 24-hour day. The prevalence of hypertension among Malaysian adults was to 42% and was higher in men compared to women. JNC7 guidelines stated that the crude prevalence of hypertension among US adults was 45.6%. The study by Alam et al. 2019, they reported that recurrent circadian fasting with weight loss shows a reduction in blood pressure and markers of cardiovascular risk. Next, study by Faris et al. 2019, they reported that intermittent fasting is linked to improvement in the levels of biomarkers associated with cardiovascular health, diabetes, oxidative stress, and also inflammation. And the other study stated that there was no significant change in systolic and diastolic blood pressure among healthy adults post-fasting. Okay, next, we go to the method. First, eligibility criteria. Okay, this is the inclusion criteria for my study, which is first, studies with eating window as exposure and level of blood pressure as outcome was included. And next, published in peer-reviewed journal with full text availability in English language. The participant was adults at age 18 to 19 years old. And the study included was observational studies with relevant data and studies published in recent 20 years earlier. The exclusion criteria for my study, we are first, duplicate article, abstract only papers like preceding papers, conference, editorial and author response thesis and books. And next, the study reported the association between eating window with other disease such as kidney disease, diabetes mellitus 2, or obesity was excluded. And also the systematic review article was excluded. So next, information sources. PubMed and Scopus search were used as the electronic database, and the additional articles was collected by examining the reference list of the original research articles. Next, search strategy. So this is the search strategy I was used in my study. The keyword that I use for eating window and also blood pressure. Next, study selection. First, identification, and next screening, and then eligibility, and last is the total included, total number of studies included. So this is the data collection process for my study. And next, we go to the results. Okay, this is my Prisma flow diagram for study selection. First, identification. Record identified through database searching from PubMed and Scopus was total 6,449. And additional records identified through other sources from backward and forward citation searching was 15. Next, record after duplicates removed was total 6,370. And this total was screened by their titles and abstract. Next, record excluded by screening title and abstract was 6,298. And then the remaining studies for full text article assessed for eligibility was 72. The full articles excluded with reason was 57. The primary reason for exclusion was recorded, such as non-inhuman, total of 4 study. Randomized control trial, 21 study. Participant age under 18 years old, 6 study. Outcome measure other than blood pressure, which include weight status, lipid profile was 12. And then adult with disease such as type 2 diabetes mellitus, obesity, overweight, and hypertension was total 14. So the final studies included in this systematic review was 15 studies. So, this is my evidence table of the included studies, which observe the association between eating window and blood pressure among healthy adults. The table includes the author name, year, study design, country, age range, gender, sample size, eating window duration in hours, blood pressure determination, whether it is in manual or automated, outcome measure, which refers to mean level of blood pressure in mmHg, and the main finding we look at the p-value, and last is the risk of bias. So, the table highlighted with blue color shows there was an association between eating window and blood pressure among healthy adults, which p-value less than or equal to 0.05. While the green color show there was an association only in systolic blood pressure. So this also the evidence table for included studies. Next, study characteristic. For the countries, most of the studies was observed in India, which total 4 studies. The others in Iran, 2 studies, Bangladesh 1, Kuwait 1, Jordan 2, Turkey 1, Pakistan 2, Thailand 1, and in Yemen also 1. The age range start from 18 to 86 years old. The sample size range from 10 to 110 of healthy adults. For the study design, cross-sectional was total 2 studies, and for the cohort, 13 studies. The study duration ranged from 1 to 69 days, and the gender. The study that observed in both gender was 8 studies, while in male only was 7 studies. The measurement parameters was systolic and diastolic blood pressure. And the last one is eating window duration range from 10 to 17 hours. Next. So, for the results, most of the studies reported a p-value less than or equal to 0.05 to be considered as statistically significant and have an association between eating window and blood pressure. A total of 7 studies out of 15 reported that there was an association between eating window and blood pressure among healthy adults, which show a decrease in blood pressure after overnight fast. The total of 7 studies include the study from Rahman et al. 2004, Masi and Amneh 2007, Unalacha et al. 2011, next Faris et al. 2012, Saida et al. 2012, Shruti et al. 2013, and lastly Samad et al. 2015. Next, 5 studies reported that there was no association between eating window and blood pressure. This study include by Khan et al. 2017, Fazadeh et al. 2003, and Saleh et al. 2005. Next, Onsara et al. 2017, and Abdullah et al. 2020, which p-value more than 0.05. Next, a total of 2 studies by Kamal et al. 2012 and Sanchanti et al. 2020 reported that eating window have an association with only systolic blood pressure, which was decreased after overnight fast. And the remaining one study by Sijavandi et al. 2015 reported that eating window was associated with diastolic blood pressure only in female with p-value is equal to 0.002. Next is study quality assessment. For my study, the National Institute of Health (NIH) for cohort and cross-sectional study was used to assess the study quality. There were 14 components or questions of NIH was assessed for a study. So this is the pie chart which represent the quality rating for included studies. Five studies were in good quality, which represent 33%. Next, 7 studies were in moderate or fair quality, which represents 47%, and only 3 were poor, which represent 20%. So, this is the table for study quality of the included studies, which assess 14 questions of NIH, which start from research question until statistical analysis. So, this is the risk of bias for a study. High risk of bias will belong to the study from Zadeh et al. 2003 and Kamal et al. 2012 and also Sanchiti et al. 2020. While low risk of bias will belong to Faris et al. 2012, next Shruti et al. 2013, Sijawandi et al. 2015, Khan et al. 2017, and also Onsara et al. 2017. While the other study reported the moderate risk of bias, which total 7 studies. Next is references. So this is the list of references that I will use to prepare this slide. And that's all from me. Thank you.